Hey guys, Edith Garcia here with MMA STREETZ. We're at the press conference for UFC 146 at the MGM Grand. We're set to hear some of the final words for Junior Dos Santos and Frank Mir, set for the heavyweight fight this Saturday.
Once Tito Ortiz retires right here in Las Vegas at UFC 148, you will be the longest-serving veteran in the UFC. You made your debut all the way back on November 2nd, 2001. 19 fights, 2 world titles later. Here you are main eventing and fighting once again for the heavyweight title. How much of a role does all of that experience play into a fight of this magnitude?
I mean, obviously, familiarity increases comfort and it allows you to become more accustomed to something. And so, the fact, the media and the exposure and all the things pretty much outside the octagon, I think having the experience gives me an advantage. But obviously, once they shut the cage door, then it's all the same.
All right, well, as soon as Alistair Overeem was forced out of this fight, the campaign to get the title shot got underway in earnest for you. Certainly, you were the most deserving. The UFC felt that way, but you were definitely training for a different type of opponent in Cain Velasquez. Why were you so confident to step up, not just with the title on the line, but take on a decidedly different challenge here in Junior Dos Santos on short notice?
Well, I felt that obviously Dos Santos would be having to go through the same changes that I had to as far as a change in opponent. I felt that preparing for Cain Velasquez, I was preparing for a very tough opponent with great cardio, so I was already kind of gearing towards the 5 rounds. Plus, when we started the camp, I told my trainer, because we were facing Cain, and also because of the opportunity that someone could get hurt in training, I wanted to be prepared to step up. And so those gave me reasons to be confident. As far as a different opponent, obviously Dos Santos is the best boxer in the division, but Velasquez is a very good boxer also, so it wasn't like I was not boxing and not working on that aspect of my game. And also, I realized, too, the hardest thing, I think, to switch would be the right to left-handed. My opponent is still right-handed, fights left foot forward, whereas Dos Santos had to make that adjustment where I didn't, where now he was facing a right-handed kickboxer, now he's facing a left-handed, mixed artist.
All right, we set up your credentials, your UFC success, certainly well documented. Some would argue that Frank's already had a Hall of Fame-worthy career. Others would disagree with that statement. Do you think you get the credit you deserve as one of the best heavyweights of all time?
I think that a lot of the general fans know, and my statistics stand alone on what I've accomplished inside the octagon, on how I've accomplished I am as an MMA fighter in the UFC. I think the problem is that there's always a select few group in everything in life that they speak from emotion. They're not intelligent. They don't look at statistics. They don't look at track records. They don't watch videos and form opinions. They form opinions with their emotions. And the problem is most of us who are intelligent people, who are laid back, we're not very loud when we think something. We don't get screaming. We don't get passionate. We don't get angry. It seems like it's the few stupid people that are extremely passionate about what they have to talk about. So in all things in life, whether politics or sports, it's always those few guys that are individuals that are just very loud and angry. It seems to speak the loudest, but just because you're the loudest doesn't mean you're the majority.
All right, on UFC Primetime, Minotauro Nogueira, the Brazilian legend who you have knocked out and submitted, had this to say, and I quote, "I don't know why everybody worships this guy. His ground game is simple. It's only his attacks that are a little dangerous." Your thoughts?
I'm thinking something got lost in translation. Because it'd be like, I got to tell you, if I'm rolling on the ground with somebody and they break my arm, they submit me, if you interview me about him, I'm going to say, man, that guy is really good. He was awesome. And it's not a humility thing so much as it's just like, so wait a minute, you say the guy sucks and he's simple, but he broke your arm. I want the guys that I face to be the best. I don't beat people because they're not very good. I didn't knock out Mirko Krokop because he's not good at stand-up. The guy is phenomenal at stand-up. I didn't beat Roy Nelson because he's no good. Roy Nelson's an extraordinarily tough guy. Everybody I face is the best in the world. They're tough. They're hard to beat. I beat them because I was a little bit better. That's the way I look at it. I always laugh when guys sit there and they break people down and go, this guy sucks. I'm like, that's why you're going to win? Because he sucks? Not because you're good? Different mentality.
All right, thank you. All right, we get to Junior Dos Santos. Now, you went into last November's title fight against Cain Velasquez with a torn meniscus in your knee. You refused to withdraw from the fight, and you go on to become the UFC heavyweight champion. Are you still sort of basking in the glow and living out your dream?
Yeah. When I had my injury, my knee injury, you know, that was a problem for me in that fight. But I asked for my physical therapist, hey man, I need to be ready for this fight. Make me ready for this fight, you know. And I brought him with me to the fight, you know, and I was feeling good, and that was perfect for me, you know, a good result. And yeah, that's it.
Is it true that you went to sleep with the belt the night you won the UFC heavyweight title?
Yeah, it's true.
It's just you and the belt in the bed, huh?
Huh?
Just you and the belt in the bed.
Just me and the belt. That was you know, a special moment for me. Because you know, I just won my dream become true in that day. So I sleep with my belt.
All right, we like it. All right, well.
How did you get your wife to be okay with that? My wife was totally against it. I walked out, I was excited. I'm like,
she
was not here, so it's okay.
So that was his date. Yeah, all right. Well, you have said, Junior, you want to be remembered not only as a UFC champion, but as a great UFC champion. I'd imagine title defenses are a big part of that. In your estimation, what constitutes a great UFC champion?
Of course, I want to be, I want to keep this belt for a long time now, you know. That's why I work hard every day, you know. And I think my first title defense now against Frank Mir is going to prove that. I did an excellent camp in Brazil, you know, and I'm very well prepared for this fight. And I want to be different, you know. I want to be part of the history of the heavyweight division.
You haven't shown us a lot of weaknesses to this point. Some people say perhaps you rely a little too much on your boxing, but I guess if you win the world title in 64 seconds with plan A, do you really need to have a backup plan?
Yeah, actually I have plan B, plan C, you know, but my plan A is working, so I will keep doing that.
But you're confident, I assume, that you can mount an offense in other disciplines of mixed martial arts if you need to at any given time in a fight?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm a MMA fighter, and I'm really confident in all areas. You know, if the fight goes to the ground, I will be fighting on the ground. I'm not afraid of any situation in the fight. You know, and I just keep the fight standing because I'm very confident in that area, you know.
During the first episode of UFC Primetime, you said that Mir is, quote, not a man, he gives up. Now, you're always an honest guy. We appreciate the candor. Why did you choose to go public with that opinion?
Yeah, I choose what I said was, you know, when I say he's not a man, I confirm that. I said that because when he's leaving a bad situation in the fight, he can't recover from that situations. In Brazil, when you doesn't have like a heart to recover from that situation, we say that, you know, he's not a man. He's not a man. But I have nothing personally against him. I even know him personally. I don't know him personally. So that was more about the fight.
Frank Jr. has acknowledged that you are a great UFC fighter when things are going well, but he said maybe you wilt when the going gets tough. He's sitting in front of you here about 48 hours out from the fight. Any response to Jr. and that line of thinking?
I think, first of all, you know, Junior's a great fighter inside the octagon, and I think that what he was trying to do is increase his abilities to be known outside. I mean, let's face it, people like Brock Lesnar and stuff, they're kind of known for what they say outside the octagon sells more tickets sometimes. And so I think that he's, you know, his camp and people around him are trying to get him to sell the fight. Let's face it, there's not a lot more he can do to improve inside the octagon, but as far as marketability outside the octagon, our media is notorious for reporting things that are hot topics, you know, and if he says something a little spicy, I guess, that it gets more attention. I mean, think about it, of all the things that he said, that's probably been asked of you how many times now? I mean, multiple times it's been brought up. So it increases media. I didn't take it too personally because I know Dos Santos. I know what kind of person he is. I can see him. I mean, when you don't train to fight somebody and not know them as well as we know each other. And I have too much footage of me proving the otherwise. You know, in the Nogueira fight, I didn't start off too hot, guys. You know, I don't know if you failed to notice, but I wasn't faking that one. He caught me, and I came out and was able to be victorious. In the first Brock fight, I don't think I was winning on the scorecards up to the point I submitted him, guys. I got to be honest with you. I think that his hands were getting sore on my face, but I don't know if I was going to win that transition. You know what I mean? I was working on it. But I still pulled it off. And even in the second fight with Brock, you see that at first round, I looked pretty ugly when I got up. It was hurting, and I woke up, I got up smiling, and was grinning, actually. And then I ran at him trying to knock him out. I even jumped in the air trying to get a knockout. And, you know, superior size and strength and wrestling ability proved to be against me, not lack of fighting ability. But we do a pre-fight medical backstage before, you know, so I'm thinking me and Junior will do it together. So when they're doing the hernia thing, we'll prove that I'm a man. You know, just glance over real quick.